Finally done. Alright, let's talk with Early Sunset. Early Sunset greets you, graceful as ever. What questions are you burdened with? Maybe to begin, tell me something about yourself. By mortal standards, I am very, very old. So, telling you about myself would take an unreasonably long time. Early Sunset closes his shimmering eyes for a moment. Many of the creatures you call supernatural emerge from the reborn souls of mortals. I am not one of them. I was shaped from a fragment of my home plane, as an embodiment of its principles. An eternity has passed since then, during which I've seen the incredible and witnessed the unbelievable. Gods battling one another, demon lords rising and falling, century-long disputes over the fate of a single soul braved before Aasimar judgment. Yet, despite the breadth of my experience, there are still things in this world that can surprise me, like you, for instance. Tell me about the gods and the things that happened on other planes. You must have witnessed many great events. Oh, I know a story that you couldn't find engaging. It's not directly related to you or current events, but it is still quite instructive. It occurred, let me see, less than 600 years ago, as time is measured in the material plane. In other words, it might as well have been yesterday. It all began with Eola, Lady of the Hunt, a demon lord who has since perished. It was her passion to take control of the body of a recently deceased hero and visit their family and friends to wreak death on them in an especially gruesome manner. Eola preferred to keep the hero's soul somewhere close at hand, to make them watch their loved ones die, unable to intervene. Early Sunset was silent for a moment. Believe me, I take no pleasure in recounting this meaningless violence. It so happened that Eola picked a righteous Desnan priestess, one the goddess was especially fond of, as her new victim. It arranged the goddess, and believe me, the wrath of the righteous, haha, title drop, is more destructive than that of evil and darkness. Desna stormed into the abyss itself and obliterated Eola along with her realm, reduced her to dust, scattered her in the winds, and when she did, something unprecedented occurred. Demon lords, who had lived like spiders in a jar since time immemorial, never missing a chance to bite each other, suddenly banded together in an alliance called the Coalition of Chaos. I don't recall ever, and I mean ever, laughing as hard as I did when I first heard the name. That said, most of the gods did not see the human in it. A planar war was about to break out, one that would claim at least as many lives as Earthfall. All because of a single priestess, her family, and her friends. Earthfall. Earthfall, the name given to the cataclysmic event in which a shower of meteorites impacted Golarion in minus 5,293. I already read that one, but just wanted to remind you. And me. Thankfully, Callistra wished to right Desna's wrongs. The goddess of revenge revealed her most powerful aspects, sowing discord among the demon lords. The Saved Sting is a true artist in that regard, I must say. The Coalition of Chaos crumbled, and the war never began. Demon lords and their armies crawled back to the abyss where they belonged, without glory. But I don't know, at least Desna actually fought evil instead of sitting on her hands. If you feel in your heart that this is the right path, do not stop. Act as the beautiful goddess of the stars did. So, Elysium, what's it like? It is a place of great contradictions. It is built on the ideas of freedom, of deeds, and openness to all. But here is the paradox. If you do not believe in restrictions and are prepared to accept everyone, must you also accept those who seek to restrain your freedom and bind you? If you are good and enjoy liberty, must you put up with those who are evil and thirst for power? Will banishing them be considered a restriction of their freedom? So many questions. I think that's actually, that has a name. I think it was called the Tolerance Paradox. about like if you're completely tolerant, do you have to tolerate intolerance? And I mean, the very clear answer is no. I mean, if you are like completely for freedom, you don't have to give people the freedom to undo your own freedom, right? But I mean, you could have a very long discussion about that, so let's keep it at that. And if you want to discuss that, leave a comment. I'll answer. So chaotic is that plane that it separates paths contrasts sharply with the whole. Vengeful Callistra and Gorum, the embodiment of endless and meaningless war, rule over Elysium alongside the carefree Desna and the adventurer god Caden Kalian. I'd say that the one thing Elysium cannot abide is order, but it wouldn't be quite true. It is more that order avoids Elysium at all costs. I don't know, I think I've already introduced all of them. How exactly is your study of my power going? Not quite as quickly as I'd like. Still, I can already tell that the key to controlling your power lies in self-control. Believe it or not. You're driven by emotion. It may bring visions of Elysium upon you, or it may turn the rock you stand upon into a garden. So far, these manifestations of power have been harmless, but someday you might transform a fortress wall standing between you and an enemy army into a curtain of flowering vines. That's why you cannot simply let things run their course. Be cautious and prudent when making decisions. I'll be there for you. I will intervene and advise you if the choice you are about to make is potentially dangerous. It's also funny that with the Azata path, like absolute freedom, you get an advisor to guide you. Isn't that also a bit contradicting? Why exactly did you decide to help me in the first place? Someone had to, says Early Sunset, his voice heavy with meaning. Anyone who wields that kind of power, especially a power heretofore unknown that shifts the balance in the Worldwound, cannot be left unattended. As much as I'd like to avoid odious comparisons to a moth drawn to a flame, it is true, in a sense. I've been drawn to your light, so here I am. I also wonder with the other paths who you get as advisors. Because like Early Sunset seems to be very Azata specific. Alright, thank you. I have to go. Farewell, and remember, I'm here to help. Regill, my friend. Nothing new. Nivea, my friend. Also nothing new. Ivu, my friend. But I know we can talk to Arabeth. Arabeth's eyes are vacant. Her thoughts are clearly somewhere far away. Seeing you, though, she snaps to attention. Hail, Commander. You know, we actually learned the fate of the missing patrol. Our people were killed by clan members from Old Sarkorian. They had been bewitched by the demon Arabeth. I'm sorry. Survivors from Sarkorian, in the middle of the Worldwound. They must be made of tough stuff. I'm sorry they have been set against us. Arabeth grits her teeth. And sorrier still for our soldiers. We're losing our people to demon trickery again. But at least the mystery is solved and it won't happen again. Hey, we actually completed some quests. Last gift of a brilliant mind. Right, I think that's it. Not for today, but for Dresden. So, the streets. Ah, true, we have the Night Gambler thing. Darkness. I'm not really sure if we have to wait for the night or something. Since we are friends of the night. Seelah. Bismuth. There he is. I mean, that's not the graveyard. There's the graveyard. It's really cool to see the city again. But now without all the demons, all the bloods. Blood. Good afternoon, Commander. How can I help you? You know, I've actually heard that you've been rather busy playing cards at night. Cards? Me? Sosiel looks away in embarrassment. Who could possibly think? I've only visited the game once or twice to get a sense of what our soldiers do when they are off duty. You think I'm addicted to gambling? Nothing of the sort. Don't worry, I'm absolutely fine. Suspicious. We have the quest. Middle game, Night Gamblers. I think I have to wait for night time, but I'm actually not even sure how to see what time it is. I don't know. Skip time. It's surprisingly bright for 8:15. Okay, so midnight, so let's go to midnight. And it takes a long time to skip time. Everything is a time machine. To skip 4 hours, you just have to wait 4 hours. It's also a weird thing to gamble on graveyard, isn't it? I mean, graveyards can have really nice atmosphere, but gambling?
Can't make the demons wait.
I don't know. Especially if there are people crying about their loved ones. I wouldn't be there gambling. Come on, my butterflies. The soldier stares at his cards in the dim light of a candle stub. Deal me 2 more. I'll double down. Coins click as they land on the barrel. Deal me another one. What? Another one? Are you bluffing, you little shit? Wait until we lay down our cards, and you'll see if I'm bluffing. You don't immediately recognize Sosiel's voice. Oh. In battle, he's quiet and composed, but now you can hear furious, passionate excitement in his voice. Fine, you scumbag. I call. Deal me another as well. Excitement, passion, and tension seem to hang over the improvised table. It feels like lightning is about to strike. I mean, so far, they're just playing, so I would say nothing. Damn, I'm cut out. The soldier angrily throws his cards on the barrel. Go, show us what you've got. Read them and weep. Sosiel reveals his cards with a gloating laugh. Nothing but junk. I knew it. You holier-than-thou types can't bluff. I was, and you fell for it. With this, Sosiel slams a card on each on the soldier's shoulders like epaulets, and places the rest of the cards on top of his opponent's head. What? Now you've done it, you. The soldier grabs Sosiel by the collar. The cleric immediately raises a fist, as if he expected it. Is he trying to fight them? At this point, one of the other players spots you in the shadows. Hey, there's someone there. We've been caught. The jig is up. Let's bail. The candlestick is snuffed out. The cards are scattered into the mud. After a moment, only the embarrassed Sosiel remains. What are you doing here? His voice no longer holds excitement. We didn't... nothing wrong. Well, tempers flared a bit, but that usually happens. That usually doesn't happen. I swear it. You know, I was worried that you've gotten yourself into trouble. Thank you. I'm touched really, but I'm perfectly fine. I was just making sure no one else got into trouble. You know, I know you would never lie to me, so I think you must be lying to yourself. You didn't come here to minister to the... You didn't come here to minister the soldiers. Why else would I come here then? To win a copper or two? Sosiel, I will just call it like it is. You provoked that soldier. You were practically begging for a fight. I was? No, you must misunderstood. There was... Sosiel searches for the right words to explain himself, but grows dejected, lowers his eyes. You're right. Shame on me. I provoked the fight. I behaved unacceptably. Forgive me, Shelyn. Why does the second option say perhaps you should also confess it to your goddess? He just did that. You know, don't be foolish. You're mortal, just like the rest of us. Not some all-powerful deity of mercy. You need time to relax like the rest of us, but please be honest with yourself. And please don't go getting into fights. After a long silence, Sosiel nods. Thank you. It's all jumbled up in my mind, this war and the horrors it holds. Our soldiers and what they tell me in their confessions. My own responsibilities. Lines from Holy Scripture. In the midst of all of this, it's easy to forget I've my own needs and desires. Thank you for reminding me. The cleric picks up a dirty playing card and twirls it in his fingers. I will not come here again. Please, don't forbid these games. Things here are mostly civil, I swear, aside from the rare heated argument. But you know what? Sosiel smiles. That excitement when you have almost no chance of winning and the risk is high. Even though the stakes aren't life or death, just a handful of coppers. I miss that. Would you mind if I drop by your quarters sometime with a pack of cards? Of course. Yeah. Logan touches Sosiel's cheek. Of course. The door's always open. We can play cards or find something else to do. Your touch makes the young cleric freeze. You feel his cheeks burning with embarrassment under your fingers. I've never... with anyone. Overcome by embarrassment, Sosiel covers your hand with his own. He rubs his cheek against your fingers. Let's take our time. Let's make it beautiful. Alright? I mean, while the second statement is correct, I would never go and pressure someone into that. So, fine, let's not rush things. Thank you for this very strange evening. Good night. Another quest, well done. So, I think that's it for Resin. We can now return to the open road. Oh no, and you know what that means? We have to decide once again who to take along. Ah, and maybe we should rest to get away of our at death's door condition. You cannot rest here. I will just do that. Yeah, let's just cook anyway. Cooking session with Seelah. Hypothesis. The party's sexual interest in me surged when it came known that I am a kitsune. I am going to survey my comrades in order to confirm my hypothesis. Aasimar boy, what is it about foxes you find sexually appealing? Be precise. What? What? The party's sexually interested in her search? So you did not even consider the possibility that I do not find... Oh, dash at all. The tail, obviously. I don't know. If I would have to take a guess, I think Nenio seems very uninterested in both, yeah, all relationships, I guess.
Beautiful.
Or could you picture her having a relationship? Loving anything else than science? He would always be second to science. I actually want to buy something. Namely, a Revivify scroll. Of course, we used them all up. Glad to see that I'm not the only one finding that funny. Let's see where we can find a vendor. Maybe someone beside a temple? Excuse me, can you sell me some scrolls? I have to say, it's really sad that you can't steal. Don't you think so? It's clearly a missing mechanic. How much time I could use just stealthing and everything. My favorite theme.
Here we go.
Let's increase the volume. Especially that part is just so epic. Oh, we never talked to her. Arsino. A woman in gold-embroidered cleric robes greets you with a polite bow. Her eyes, the color of molten gold, gleam brightly in her dusky face. Greetings, Commander. My name is Arsino. I'm a messenger from the Temple of Abadar in Absalom, and I came here assuming the defenders of the fortress could use the services of a cleric. Oh, that's a good question, Logan. Since you know more about healing, perhaps you've heard about the wound that's sometimes open in my chest? Are you, by any chance, familiar with this kind of ailment? Arsino quickly probes you with the skill of an experienced healer. So the wound was right here. Then it disappeared and reappeared. Amazing. No, this is the first time I've ever heard of such magic. Do you have, like, any guess what it could be? I think it is some kind of demonic corruption, or particles of chaos from the abyss have entered through the wound in your body and made it so unstable. It sounds quite interesting, incidentally. Judging from the records of researchers of the abyss, stranger things have happened in this cursed place. So maybe it's just... But it also kind of seems to react to every time we get mythic powers. So, okay. That's sad. I hope for something more. But can you maybe give me some advice on how to heal it, or who to ask? I'm sure that you've already used the purification and case warding spells, and for obvious reasons you do not have the option of leaving the campaign and going on a long pilgrimage to various shrines. Since that's the case, keep a diary. Make careful and systematic entries about your well-being. If it gets worse, record the circumstances under which it happens. I am afraid this is the only advice I can offer right now. Can you maybe at least try to heal me? I'm sorry, but I do not have the right to do that. A healer who makes a blind attempt to heal a patient who is not on the verge of death is an irresponsible fool. You do not seem to be dying, so we will not take any unnecessary risks. That's good. Alright, thank you. It all makes sense to me. No, it doesn't. But I have to say it. Thank you, it kinda all makes sense to me now. Take care of yourself, Commander. You know, I could use the help of Cleric. That is precisely why I am here. Aha, here we have scrolls. Scroll of Raise Dead. Actually not that important. We could afford 10 of them. Let's sell all those cheap Cloak of Resistances and Ring of Protections. At least one of those. Not. And I don't know, how many do we want? How often will I... 198. No, that's a bit too much. But let's take like 3, I guess? Let's have a look if there's something cheaper to revive, but I don't think so. I don't think there's Revivify. Name. Scroll of... I think Revivify might be just a D&D spell. Resist. Resurrection is even more expensive. Inspiration. No, there's no Revivify. Ooh, but she sells alchemist kits. So maybe let's just start with the small one. Or let's take the first two ones. It's expensive. Anyway. So. But now, for real, let's leave Dresden. No, there's a pretzel on it. Okay, who to take with us? I have to say, even though I know I'm playing a very good character, I would kind of like to take Regill along. But I don't know who to leave behind. Maybe Lann? I want more people in my party. Because we need someone, I like Woljif, and we need someone with trickery. We need a designated healer. Ulbrig is just cool because he can transform into a Griffin. my reasoning is crumbling. I don't know. Let's stick with the party for the time being. And you will see me struggle with that every time we leave the city.